What's up, everybody? I am here with our guest of honor today, a voice for victims. She is a survivor of sexual abuse as a child. Um, Give you a short little bio, real quick. She says, I was molested when I was very young by a family friend, I would say for about 2 years. Then I was a victim of mental domestic abuse by by little one's dad. These events and stories clients would share with me while I gave them their
Massage, yeah, because I'm a massage therapist. So,
massages, right. Inspired me to go back to school and finish getting my associate's degree by becoming a crime victim specialist, which is a new degree that's only offered for two schools right now. Everybody, please welcome a voice for victims. We're here to hear her story, and for those that have been here before, you guys got to know how these work. I'm just going to let her go on with her story and let us know what she wants us to know. Feel free to ask your questions, and towards the end, we will definitely get your questions in there. And with that being said, a voice for victim, the stage is yours.
hi. Okay, so I'm in school to be a crime victim specialist, and for most people, they're like, "What is that?" Because they don't know what it is. Because, like I said, it's only offered in two different states right now. So it's a victim's advocate, and you can go at my school. You can do two ways. You can go to get a certificate, or you can go get an associate's degree. And then, so what it is it's pretty much a victim advocate, and they did it so for you those people who already have like a degree like a psychologist, and you can take the certificate course to get more training to be like a victim specialist. And then, like for me, for associate's degree, you can take it for more training because the trafficking rate here is high where I live at because I live in Oklahoma. So it's right
Mhm.
smack in the middle of the hub of everything. We're a big transportation hub. And we didn't realize it till like a couple years ago. So they had to go back and they had to retrain all our like highway patrol officers, and they make some of our police officers now take like crime victim classes and things like that. And that's pretty much what I decided to do because I was like, I need to go back to school and get my associate's degree, and I was like, well, I'll go back and do this because it's pretty relevant for where I live. And then it was like, I'm a massage therapist, and I hear people, you'd be surprised what people will tell you when you're giving them a massage and they're like face down on your table. They'll share your whole story, and they're like, I didn't know what to do or how to do it, and I didn't know the signs to look for and things like that. And so that's pretty much what it is. And then also when I was younger, this was back in the early 90s before people didn't think about, kids being sexually abused by somebody, or molested. And then so I was a victim of that by a family friend. I was pretty young, so I don't kind of remember all of it. And then my sister too. And then when he got convicted, I found out he was doing it to his niece also, who he lived with. He lived with his mom and I believe his niece. So that was part of it too. And
It's
then
from when? What age were you when this happened?
so um let me think. I believe he was like, I think I was like 6 when he got caught, about maybe 6 or 7 when he got caught. Because what had happened was we would like because this was in Utah, because I lived in Utah when this happened. And so we would he would take us and walk to like the store with him and things like that. And there was like this certain tree he would like take apparently me and my sister to. And one day, and we go he visit, so we go there like often. I guess one day how we got caught was a lady saw them one day, and I guess she's maybe getting suspicious, so she called the police, and that's how they got caught. He got caught when he was doing it with my sister.
Oh, wow.
And so this was like fairly new when the pedo thing happened, when they had to register as a sex offender. So he got convicted, and he had to register as a sex offender. Oh wait, hold on, let me turn this off.
And do you remember what kind of sentence he got? I mean, it wasn't enough, regardless. But
I don't remember exactly because I do remember like it was in Utah. Utah took it seriously, so he had to be on probation. I believe he got house arrest. Then he had to go take classes, and then he had to register on the offenders list. That's pretty much what he had to do.
wow.
This was like I said, this was in the early kind of 90s when they were starting the whole, realizing that people were doing this.
when they were starting to get kind of when they started taking it kind of serious because
Yeah,
the sex offender registry has been around since the 80s.
yeah, and it
No,
was, but people were like, really like, pushing it. This is
yeah,
kind of when they really started,
right.
pushing the
And
subject.
what's your opinion about the sex offender registry? Like,
It it's good for some things. It's kind of hard because it's like once the person they go through the classes and things like that, they still have to be like on it, and a little some of it's a little too strict and some of it's a little too loose. It depends on like what the state is. Some of the laws are kind of ridiculous on some of it. Like somebody has like the state, if you like put pictures of like your kid, you don't realize it to the state as child porn, then you have to be registered on the sex offender list. That's kind of a little extreme. But it's good in some ways. It's just some of the laws need a little tweaking on it.
I think it's a great concept, but it's a failed program.
Yeah, it is a great concept, but it's kind of failed. It's just they need to be a little more, like who registers, like people who are like trafficking kids and things like that. They should be on it. It's just
You,
not everybody
you,
needs to be on it.
somebody who takes a piss in the park probably shouldn't be on there, but
Right, but they are because they've exposed them. Yeah, see, that's what I'm like.
yeah, I mean, but my biggest problem is that there's a time limit that they can be on that they can be on the registry. You know what I mean? Like there's three different levels: 5 years, 10 years, and a lifetime.
Right.
And I don't agree with that. I think once you are convicted of a sex crime, that's what you are for the rest of your
Yeah,
life.
it's your life.
I mean, after all, I'll never be able to get rid of that title of being a victim of a sex crime when I was a child. So it only seems fair that they would have to stay on there
Right.
for the entire lifetime because they can't take that action back. So it's a lot of people think that once they get put on that sex offender registry, well, they're good to go. Well, there's so many people that are non-compliant on there, and
Uh-huh.
go ahead and try to report somebody for being non-compliant, even if you know where they're at, because the person who victimized me and the person who victimized my wife, they were both non-compliant at the same time, out of the same city, and I called to report them, and they laughed at me because we don't have
Right.
time. We don't have time for that. Well,
Yeah.
what the hell is it good for then? You know what I
You'd
mean?
have to make it like they don't. They have to. They're so underdeveloped for police and things like that. You literally would have to make like a special task force just for like non-compliant registered sex offenders.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
You know,
pretty much.
and they don't the police departments, they don't take it seriously. I mean, if you have to register as a sex offender, that means it's a federal crime if you go non-compliant. So there's literally thousands upon thousands of people that are committing federal felonies on a daily basis, and nobody's out there doing shit about it, and it angers me.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
It's
because
just sad.
because a lot of people don't realize once they get once one of these parasites get released off of probation or parole, well, they don't have anybody there that comes and checks on them to make sure they're not getting on the internet. And,
Right.
there's not, plain and simple,
Yeah.
there's not. And they should be monitored for the rest of their life.
Like internet research, and it's just sad. It's like it was like a good concept, but it's kind of failed a lot.
Yeah, it's a great concept, but it's a failed program, 100%. And I will stand behind that statement till the day I'm dead, or
Yeah.
until they fix it.
Like you literally would have to stick ankle monitors on every registered sex offender to find out where they are,
Yep.
like in order for it to be, or make it so it's not like some piece in the party doesn't have to register. Make it a little more,
Yeah,
offenders.
there's certain crimes. Like I'm a firm believer that maybe you shouldn't be pissing in the park because there are kids and shit around, but that's not.
Right.
I don't really classify that as a sex crime because
Yeah.
there was
Right.
sex taking place.
So it's
I just there's all kinds of things that need to be readjusted and reevaluated and just
it does.
you know what
It's
I
sad
mean.
too. It's like here we have, since it's so bad here in our state, there's QR codes posted everywhere where you can, if you think somebody with traffic, you scan the code and alert the people to let them know what's going on. They're like, I guess they've posted them randomly places everywhere here in our state.
Huh.
So you could know. Yeah. Yep. They just
That's
started because
crazy.
it's like a major hub. Like you come here and you go 3 hours one way, you're in Texas. You drive 3 hours another way, you're in Arkansas, and then you drive 3 hours up here, and then you're in Kansas. So it's not very. And then our highway system is so dense and dead. Like you can drive 2 hours without seeing a single person on the street, and by that you're basically out of Oklahoma.
Wow.
And it's not too far. You can get to Florida from here in I think about maybe 8 hours. And then from like here, you can get from here to Galveston in about 8 or 10 hours. So it doesn't take long to transport people. So we're like a main kind of like drop off hub for it.
Yeah, a major cross point. Yeah.
Yeah, because we don't have like we have major highways, but it doesn't go everywhere like other places. We're still kind of spread out and dense and everything. So it's pretty
Yeah.
bad here.
And it's just getting worse and worse
Yeah,
everywhere.
it is. It is,
Everywhere,
and then
every single day.
it's like sad because people like don't know. It's like you have to pay attention. The only people who do know are like nurses and doctors because they'll take the kids there or their trappings to get looked at, whether it be a kid or adult, and they know the signs because they've been trained to look for are they standing close by, are they looking down at the ground. But then again, it's like you have to look at other everyday people who are doing it too because they still have signs and things like that. Like kids, and they'll like be quiet. They'll kind of be to themselves. Or like when I was doing my research project, I came across this story of a girl. She was trafficked by her dad, who was a doctor, and he had conditioned her from like a very young age for certain words to mean certain things. And she was like 6 years old, so he would teach her like massage meant this word and this meant the other word, and she would try to play with other kids, but she couldn't because she would play with them like inappropriately because that's all she knew. And he had conditioned her to he had conditioned her for to use a certain there's a certain doll that he wanted her to use, and instead of so when somebody called CPS, they would bring like a Barbie doll and things like that. And so the idea was to get her to touch to touch the doll where she was appropriate. And he was like, no, can I use my own doll? And he would use a rag doll for her because she didn't associate with a rag doll with her body, because a rag doll is yarn and things like that, so she wouldn't touch out the appropriate places that the CPS worker was trying to get to. Yeah, I was like, I
Yeah.
can't believe it. it,
Yeah,
it was sad.
there's no limit to what they'll go to
Mm-mm.
to
And then
get
yeah.
what they want.
Yeah, and at first he was traffic her to like other places, but it got too expensive, so he would just do it like in town, and she was trafficked to like her teacher one time, like athletes, like people, like yeah. It was sad. This was in Washington too when I found this news article.
What's up, Mary Jane Doe? Thank you for being here.
Hey. Yeah, and then the one that I found was really heartbreaking was um in Cambodia. This was about 10 years ago in 2015. There's this little fishing village in Cambodia, and it was broken poor. And so what they would do is they would get loans from like these loan sharks out there, and they would charge them so much money that the parents had no choice but to like send off their daughters to like traffic them. And then what they would do is they would take them to a doctor to get like a certificate of virginity, and then they would sell their daughter virginity off to like the highest bidder, and then they would after that, to finish paying it off, the moms would like send them to brothels and things like that. And this went on for a long time until this preacher came to visit, and he started cleaning it up, and put put like a shelter and things for these kids and things like that. And as far as I know, it's still up. But that one was like, wow, that one was really heartbreaking.
I bet. Yeah. Yeah. I had no idea either about that shit in Cambodia.
Yeah, I didn't either. And it's just little fishing village is called Savvy Pack. And it was funny because and then the actress Mina Sorvino, she was part of it too. And then when I would click the link for her like stuff, it says page not found. So I don't know what happened to her part of it. But this, like I said, this article came out almost like 10 years ago. So I don't know how well he's cleaned it up and things like that. But it was just some guy from California, some preacher, and him and his wife stopped everything what they did to go help these poor kids in Cambodia and these families and stuff. Like
Wow,
they trained him and gave him jobs and things like that so they can like be their own life. I didn't either.
that shit's crazy.
Yeah, it apparently it was the pedophile capital of the world. Like people would fly in just for this little old village and things like that.
Wow. You know, it just goes to show how widespread this problem is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's bad. It's real bad. And then like Zoom is awful, and then Discord is not for kids. Like that's the worst thing ever. That is like the one stop shop for the black market because that's Backpage was what they would use, and they shut down Backpage. So they're like, what are we gonna do now? And then Discord pops up. So that is
Mhm.
one thing I would not let my kids do. And I wouldn't let our kids play Geometry Dash either because my 10-year-old found a backdoor to YouTube on that game. And it's like, why do you need a backdoor for YouTube for a game? So it's just like, yeah, that's kind of suspect.
Yeah, that Roblox. Yeah,
Yeah, my kid loves that, and he's 10 years old. But luckily, he's pretty smart. But that's when to all these games and stuff like that. It's like if you're gonna let your kids be on these games and chat, you need to tell them to look out for certain like words and don't give too much information because you have these adult people on here and they're trying to like bait you and things like that to see how much
yep,
information you will give.
yeah,
And then all these it's like they fall for it and it's just like wow you can't even let your kids like be kids and play games and stuff because it's not like you can let them outside and play anymore because that's dangerous too. Your
yeah.
kid
It's definitely a screwed up world we live in these days.
yeah your kid to get snatched up out of your front door, so it's like what do you do?
Yep,
You either keep them home with you or let them play and maybe risk them potentially getting snatched up or something like that.
yeah,
it's
and
it's
it happens more times than people actually realize.
Yeah, it does. And then it's like you have the runaway, the what girls who run away, and then you have these like basically poachers who are like looking around for like these like underprivileged neighborhoods and people who are unsupervised and things like that. And that's what their job is in the trafficking ring is to look for girls and to get them to like them. And then they don't want to file anything because they think that oh this is my boyfriend and he loves me and I'll just do whatever for him. That's all they know.
Yeah, yeah,
That's why it's just like it's important. It's important to know what your state is for when you're considered a minor and when you're not.
I agree. I
Yeah,
fully agree.
yeah. Kids will never know. Yeah, like I did. Like when I was young, we would walk to the store, and it was pretty far. When I look at it, and I was like, "Dang, that store is pretty far." Where we walked to, we could ride
Yeah.
our bikes out and everything, and not have to worry about it. And that
Yep,
was
it sucks. It sucks. The internet's definitely closed a lot of doors to a lot of things that kids will
yeah,
never experience, and it's definitely opened a lot of doors to a lot of things
yeah.
that kids should never have to experience.
Yeah, and Zoom is bad. When I was doing research, this is funny because this happened right when Diddy got arrested. There is a pedophile ring that happened and it busted 500 people in a couple of different countries from a Zoom thing.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
It
Yep.
started. The main hub was in Australia, and then it got some people in the United States, and I was just like, dang, like 500 people, like that's just crazy.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
do
me.
remember reading about that.
Yeah, you read about that one too.
Yep, I did.
Yeah, it was like one of the largest like online busts in a long time.
No, it's the largest in history.
Is it really that? I didn't know that part.
Yeah,
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 yeah. Like
yeah.
it's just, and then it was sad because they even got like I guess a rugby player was involved in it too. I think.
Oh yeah, there was quite a few famous people that was involved in it for sure.
Yeah, I uh, I
For
only
sure.
I only caught like a little bit of. I haven't been quite been able to like follow up with it. That
Yeah.
that story.
You
It
know,
was
just
a
just just in 1 year, the uh, sex trafficking industry in the United States went from $128 billion a year to $248 billion in a
yeah.
year.
It's sad, and then it's like every year there's they send out an annual trafficking report every single year. They just put the one out for 2024 not that long ago, and it'll
Yep.
give you like the statistics, the stats, like what they
Yep.
plan on doing, how many like kids they say, just like the government thing on it.
Yep. And then and that's just out of the ones that they've caught.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
that's
That's
just
not.
that. That's what people got to remember.
Mhm.
And like the numbers lie. I don't care what anybody says. The numbers lie.
Yeah.
Just for the mere fact that they don't keep statistics on anybody under the age of 12. So all of those statistics will never be in there. I don't know
No.
why they
Yeah.
do it that way, which I think is bullshit, but I kind of
Right.
understand. But
Yeah.
it's just a number. We don't have to know their identity to know
Right.
that you know what I
Number.
mean.
Yeah. Because they're children, and then it's like their numbers aren't right, so it's like, what do? You gotta, and then people understand, like, it can take up to like 2 years to bring down like a ring, depending on how like deep it is. It's
Oh
not,
yeah.
it's
Well,
like that. Yeah.
well, just look how long it took him to take Diddy down.
Right. And I somehow they magically did it, and it's hard, yeah. And then the thing with Diddy now thing is, it's like, oh, they're trying to use the freak offs as these are consenting adults. It's like, yeah, maybe this was because he's adult, and I know they do parties like that. But the problem is most of the victims who are coming out saying they weren't at a freak off party, they were doing something else and they were assaulted. That's like what people are gotta understand the difference. If you pay attention to what the victims were saying, most of them weren't at a freak off party. They were at a different thing going on.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
that's what you got to. It's like they're trying to throw people off with that. And I'm like,
Yep.
no, like the lady here. There's a lady here in Oklahoma, and she was assaulted. She won tickets to a show through Tulsa. This happened in Tulsa, and she won tickets to a party in Tulsa, and she brought a friend, and her friend were separated, and that's how she was. That's how she was ended up being assaulted. She
Oh
broke
wow.
up. Yeah, and it's like you have to pay attention to when they were parties, because it's like the freak off. Just like not all the parties or people were assaulted were freak off ones. So you have to pay attention, because I know people do that kind of stuff, and they sign papers, and it's like yeah, that's why I'm like, because I've been wondering, like, where's the kids at on these videos? You know what I mean? I'm sitting here waiting for, like, where's his you know well, you really don't want to say pornography, because that's what the people who, so if you want to say child abuse sexual material for like people like me to search for and stuff. So I've been wondering, like, where are these um people coming out, because I'm waiting for the kids to come out and be like, oh, I was sent there by my parents.
Yep.
But for so
I mean, unfortunately, we live in a world where a lot of parents do participate in these kind of things,
yeah.
and some parents have kids just for that reason.
Yeah, and it's like, so far I haven't heard anything about any of the kids being like on the tapes and things like that. So I'm thinking they're trying to use the freak offs as a throw. It's either that, or they haven't found kids yet on the video, or they deleted the part where the kids were there for this reason.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's what I'm thinking. And I'm just like, because if they were there, then they should be on these videos. And then it's sad. It's like they give them the drugs, and then the people are like, "Why did they come out earlier?" I was like, "Well, these were kids. And if their parents did it, and from what the hallucinating drugs, their kids could tell their parents, "Oh, I was this, and I remember this dream, and like, was it a dream?" And the parents would be like, "Yeah, it was a dream. In reality, it's not." You know what I mean? Because of what the drugs did to people. And then as an adult, they don't. They hear stories of what's going on. They remember. I was like, "Oh man, that really did happen. My parents told me I was lying, and it was probably a dream."
Yep.
I think that's what happened too for like all the kids who don't remember, because when you're a kid you don't remember stuff, especially from what I hear the pink stuff does to people.
Yeah.
When you're a kid, you're not gonna remember it, and when you ask your parents, they're gonna, if they're the ones doing it, they're gonna give you some lies saying you were just dreaming.
Yeah. It's fucked up. I shouldn't have said that, but it is.
Yeah, she said maybe no videos were allowed when the kids were there. That could be it too. They just know that some victims saying that they found children there, so they may have not filmed the kids. But if
Yeah,
the
there was one bust here in my hometown a few years back, and this couple was a pretty I'm looking for a specific word. I can't grab it. Um, they were a well known couple. They were well
right,
known in the community, and they busted them, and they found over 300 VHS cassette tapes. They were between 6 to 8 hours long, all of them, and of them doing horrific things, injecting kids with so much methamphetamine they couldn't even function, and then
right.
just having their way with them and shit. And like the whole thing about it is you never know who it is that's going to be doing it. You just don't know.
Right. You don't know, and that's what's sad about it. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a bus here not that long ago. I think they found some kids in the back of a semi trailer with their hands like, going, and I don't know, they were just like, they were just trafficking because for what I'm not sure, it could have been labor enforced too, you know what I mean? And then
yeah,
what's sad is a lot of these parents are like force their kids into doing it because they don't know what the job is. They'll have people be like, "Oh, we'll get you to America, but you have to work for us." And the parents will be like, "Oh, okay," not knowing what the work is. They get here, they
yeah,
find out the work is your child labor for labor, or their child is being trafficked, and they're just like, "What can they do? They came here illegally," and that
yep,
happens a lot too.
yep.
They
It happens. It happens every day.
Yeah, they get these poor people who want to come here and not telling their kids, not telling these people what their job is. That's like
Yeah.
that's
So let's talk a little bit more about what you're going to school for. It's real interesting to me. So you're going to be you're going to school for crime scene what?
so it's a crime victim specialist, and essentially what it is it's a victim advocate with a little more training for me because I don't have a degree yet. So I'm getting my associate degree in it. So we go to school for specific things. We have to learn like for me this semester I'm taking English, and for the victim I'm taking the victim legal rights. So this semester I'm learning all the laws that have to do with victim rights. And then another class I have to take, I took already, was child abuse and neglect. And then I had to take a victimology class. And then the next class I have to take is victim crisis. And then one semester, it's like going to be hard to take a whole semester on rape and sexual assault classes. Like that's what the whole semester is about. And then I have to take ethics and crisis management. So basically, what you can do is you can go work for the police department. You can become a victim's advocate. You can go work for organizations if you want to. You can pretty much just work anywhere that needs like a victim advocate, and then you'll have like a little extra specialized training than just a regular volunteer. And you can
And what do you plan on doing after you graduate?
I'm not sure yet. I'm probably more likely like this, like I'll come on YouTube and like just have people share their stories. So it's like, because a lot of times when you have victims, they don't know where to go or like who to go to. So my idea is to have people come on and have victims, like not necessarily like they can share their stories or they can share like their resources, like, oh, I'm from this state and I went here and they helped me, and this person, helped me too. So people have a little more like understanding of like where to go and where to find help at, because the best reviews are from like peers who've been through it before, so people know where to go and who to go to. Like
Right.
a lot of people, they just don't know where to go for help, or how good it is.
Yep.
So that's essentially what I think I'm gonna do. I might try to volunteer at some place here when I'm done with school. We have some new places that are here volunteering and stuff. So that's what I think I'm gonna do. I'm not like 100% sure yet, and that's the idea, because I'm still gonna keep my regular job because I love my regular job.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah. I started doing this basically for the same reason. Like it was an outlet for me to move on and help me become
mhm.
stronger and deal with what happened to me
Yeah.
easier, and it's not easy. I tell you what, I've been doing this. I've been at
No.
it for almost 3 years now, and I haven't broke 2,000 subscribers, and it's
Yeah,
The
it's not
shit that
easy.
people come at you, the shit that people come at you with,
Right.
it's it's, it's crazy.
And it's just it is for me. So aware people like they want to like help the kids, but a lot of people is they don't know how because they don't know what to look for. They're blind like me. It's like, oh, these kids can be related with their parents and this and that, and you got people missing. It's like, no, it's the complete opposite. It's like there was a study done and there was 1,500 people and 85% of the people said they were trafficked either by their parent or someone close to them that they knew.
Yeah,
So the real thing is you got to look for the signs of a kid who's not, acting normal. That's pretty much what you got to look for.
yep.
And then like
Like
if you're out in the public, because in New York everything is subway, so you want to look for signs like somebody's with a kid. Are they looking down? They're not looking at the person, not looking around. They're looking straight down, and then they're constantly looking at the person next to them and things like that. When like somebody will try to talk to them and stuff like for approval,
yeah,
like that's
it's
that's the
uh,
thing.
it's a world that's so dark. Most people will never grasp the reality
No.
of how dark and how despicable that world really is.
Yeah, it's just like you really have to like understand and like know how it works and know what to look for because it's
Yeah,
like a lot of the times it's more it's for people in trafficking green they don't want to keep a bunch of kids because it's more mouths they have to feed. It's not cost effective for them to keep the kids with them.
yep,
Like that doesn't make sense. And then it's like they have to house them and feed them and clothe them, for like the little ones. Then that's why the little ones are usually, and then the older ones is a little more different because they're kind of a little more self sufficient for the older ones who get forced into it.
yeah, yeah. It's definitely a dark. It's definitely a dark world, and like we live in a society now that where in the United States one child is victimized every 68 seconds.
Right? Yeah, it is. And then they don't even realize it. And then the sad thing is most people who are her perpetrators are people who were abused themselves and didn't get any help.
Right. And see, well, a lot of times, I mean, that's the common, it's really not that popular. Like,
No.
yes, there are a number of victims who turned out to be a victimizer themselves, but
Yeah.
the number is really not that high. Cause I mean,
Yeah, it's not, and then it's sad too, and it's just like if they would have got help, and then the sad thing is a lot of people when I was going through class, a lot of people this now this isn't more for the sex, this is for like the other like abuse part, but a lot of people who were like beat their kids and with things like that didn't know that they were abused now because that's how they were grown up, and then they get their kids taken away and they go through the classes and they get rehabilitated because to them they didn't know.
yeah,
And then a lot of it too is people who come into this country and they still use their own from their other country, but it's not, allowed here. They don't know either because it's their culture. So that's another thing that we should work on is people who are coming into this country need to have a class about what's acceptable, from like different from their culture.
yeah. Like I know there's different parts of the world where
Yeah.
it's okay for a person to marry their child out at the age of 13, at the age of 12, but that's not
Right.
how it works. That's not how it works here in America. So
That's not worth it. Yeah.
if you're planning on
So
coming here, you better abide by our rules, or
yeah,
you're
and
gonna
it's
be
like everybody who comes here needs to take a class on their child abuse laws, especially for like the state that they're going to be to. They should all come in here and do it. Yeah, we don't have enough people who care.
yep.
Out of
We
sight, out
don't.
of
So a lot of people are like, well, I don't have kids, or my kids are grown, so why do I give a shit? Well, because it's still children.
mind. Still true, and yeah, it could be your grandkids that get affected by this.
Your grandkids, your niece, your nephew, your I
Hmm.
mean, you know. I mean, we
Yeah,
live in a society where 56,000 children go missing out of foster care systems every single year in the United States and
yeah,
are never seen again. You know what I
yeah, they
mean?
do, and a lot of them who are go missing out of foster care, it's like I said, they have the sex trafficking people in the rings have kids circling, impoverished kids, foster care, targeting people, and that's how they go. They run away, and they run away to these traffickers, not knowing what they're getting themselves into.
Yep. Yep.
That too, and then of course you have the parents who are like foster care, and that's exactly what they have the foster kids for, is for that specific reason, which is sad
Yep.
because they're probably involved in like the ring too. So they have these plants in the ring to like be the foster care person,
Yep. Yep.
and then they're part of
I
the
did a
ring.
I did a story. I did a story back about 8 months ago, 9 months ago, on a homosexual couple that were really high up in the LGBTQ community, and they adopted two boys, and they adopted them for the sole purpose to sexually abuse.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of that. I didn't quite get it, was able to get into that, but I saw that story and I was like, wow, it's
Yep.
sad, yeah. Because last semester I had to like work. It was a lot, so I didn't get to like catch up on a lot of like stories and stuff like that. We live, oh yeah, we do live fast. That was sad too. And then it's just like, and then at the same time as Diddy, and then like the Allie Carter thing happened, and I was just like, wow, it's like this, like poor girl. That's I feel so sad for her.
Something I like to point out. For every story that goes public and explodes, like the Ali Carter story, there there's 1,000 that will never be spoken about.
Never be spoken for, yeah. And then it makes him sound like, no, she's not a victim. So like I was like, no, she's a victim, and the poor girl, she doesn't have a sense of reality because she doesn't know. When you're trafficked, nobody's gonna tell you where you really are. You know what I mean? They're not gonna be
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, you're in Russia, and when in reality. I mean, when she was trafficked, for all she knew, she could have been in Canada in the Russian community, and they told her she's in Russia, and all she hears people speaking Russian, so she's gonna think she's in Russia.
Yep.
And that like that's just sad. And it's just like somebody here, you come from, like, if you're in, California, you've never been to like New York, and you get trafficked to New York to Chinatown, and all you see here's people speaking in Chinese, and you see these Chinese letters, and they're like, you're in China now, you're gonna think you're in China because that's all you hear and know. They're not actually gonna
Yeah.
physically tell you where you are.
Yeah.
Mm.
And unfortunately, this crime definitely has a way to affect more people who are at the poverty level
Yeah,
than
it does. Yeah.
you know.
Because that's what they look for. It's unsupervised. They literally have scouts to go out and target unsupervised kids, and they'll follow them and track their moves and see what they do and talk to them and course them and schmooze them.
Yep.
That's You have two different kind of trackers. You have the charismatic one and the violent one. And the charismatic one is the ones that they use, the good looking one, to find a target and see, find out their patterns, and then schmooze her into doing it.
Yep.
And then you
Yep.
Yeah, every missing child is important. Yeah, and then it's like a lot of times they'll call the child an exploited missing line, but one thing they also have to call is they have to call the human trafficking line too, because they piggyback off of each other.
Yeah.
So you have to call both. Like there's this girl here, and she was missing, and she was a runaway, and um they thought they might know where she is. But I said, because she's ran away before, and I told them, I said, this time she may have ran away to the place you think she is, but just in case she didn't, you might want to call the trafficking line and let them know.
Yeah. And
It's like
there's just so many perpetrators out there of this crime, and like
Mhm.
it sucks to say, but it's almost impossible to safeguard your children from all of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is. The best thing to do is just educate them and let them know.
Yep,
Like
for sure.
you just gotta like educate them, and then it's like the schools don't want to teach it, and it's just like, no, the schools probably should teach it. We're in a time, it's like 2025 now, and then it's like it's probably time to teach in school now. Like my son's friend got on this AI chatbot, and I was like, what? You have got to be kidding me. I'm like, now that's just crazy.
See, now I don't think that school teachers should be teaching about this kind of stuff, just for the mere fact that there are a lot of teachers that participate in this shit.
Yeah, that's true too.
So,
There,
you
there,
know what I
there is
mean?
it like it shouldn't be taught, but I think it should be an option for like parents, like after like an after school thing, for parents who want to learn about it. They should at least, offer to be like, hey, we're gonna talk about the signs of what to look for trafficking for like online and things like that. Really should be taught to like the
Yeah, that would
parents.
be that would be good. Something that the parents were involved with. Yeah, but
Yeah, like the
like,
parents involved with, and then if they want to bring their kids to it, then they should. I mean, it shouldn't be like, yeah, like taught in school, but I think the school should have the option. The school should have option to at least hold, you know, uh, like an after school program or something, or an assembly for the parents who want to be come and listen and be informed about what's going on, so parents know. Yeah, we have failed our music, especially like back when I grew up, in the 80s and 90s. That's why there's trafficking is the way it's out of control now, because they didn't take it seriously back then because they didn't know, and that's why it's gotten to this point.
yeah, yeah.
They
See, a lot of
they
people think that this. A lot of people think that this trafficking situation is a new development, and it's been
yeah,
around for decades.
it's not, yeah, and they always just thought it was people coming from one country to another when really it's not. It's the
Yeah,
opposite. In America, it has more trafficking than anybody, and this is done from an article I read from another country who was doing a story about it. And America has, I think they said like 800 million like people are trafficked every year through America.
yeah,
We are
yeah.
the number one trafficking country.
Yeah, there's more people. There's more people trafficked through our country than there are people in our country.
Yeah, yeah. And I was just like, wow, I couldn't believe
It's
that.
a
I
crazy
think,
concept. It's a crazy
yeah,
concept. You know what I
it
mean?
is. Yeah, I think I think it was like an Australian news article found it, and to hear that, coming from a different country saying that we are, and then it makes it even worse. Is like Oklahoma is like number one. It is like up there. This little old bitty state is up there for trafficking.
You know, I don't think teachers should babysit or teach what should be taught at home. I taught my children at 4 and 5, beware. Don't be afraid to talk to me, no matter who it is, in family or outside people. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, like I know. My wife and I started talking to our kids at a very young age about this
Mhm.
kind of shit, and
No, yeah, like yeah, yeah. Teachers shouldn't, yeah, babysit. It's not like teachers. It would be a good idea for the schools to want to like hold the things to be aware, because a lot of parents are like oblivious to what to look for like online predators. They just don't know,
yeah,
and that's where it all starts at. And it's like, yeah, kids will want to talk to you, but most kids don't want to talk to their parents about things. They're going to want to talk to their own peer, their age, and that's how it starts. Is these adults will act like kids, and so the kids will relate to them like it's their age, and they'll go meet them, and then off they go.
one thing my wife and I did is we have made sure throughout raising our kids that we've made sure that they both know that they can come talk to us about anything at any point in
Hmm.
time without any kind of worry about any kind of repercussions
Right.
or you know what I mean. We'll handle that when we get there,
Yeah,
and
my kids too.
like the best deterrent, the best way to keep your kids safe about from this kind of shit is educate, educate, educate.
Yeah, that's the best thing. You gotta educate their kids. Like you have to know what you're looking for, and then it's like, and then it's sad. It's like, so teachers, they kind of have to know. They're starting to teach teachers the signs to look for a kid who's being abused and things like that, which is sad. They're just now starting to, teachers got to take a class on kind of what to look for if you suspect a kid is being abused, like the signs and symptoms of it. But I was like, that's sad. They should
Yeah,
have done that a long time ago.
yeah. See, like I know, like my parents, they didn't talk to me about this kind of stuff when I was a kid, and like so when it started happening to me, I had no idea
Yeah.
whether it was right or wrong, or
Hmm.
it was just weird, I guess, and
Right. Yeah. Yeah,
like
and I was Yeah, it is weird. Like I was opposite. My mom, she had no filter. My mom told us about her whole life story. I was like 6 years old, just listening to about my mom's like past life. So I I kind of knew about a lot more stuff than what I should have when I was young.
Yeah.
My my mom
See,
back in Utah, she
my kids definitely, my kids know what happened to my wife and I both as being victims. And I've never held anything back. I mean, if you want that relationship, if you want your kids to trust you, you got to be able to. They got to know that you're telling them, the whole story,
yeah, and then you gotta believe them because it's sad from when I was doing. Yeah, he didn't because he had money. Yeah, if you have a good lawyer, they can get you out of just about anything, which is sad.
Beth Hammond, like the person that victimized me, he never did a day in jail for what he did to me either. But he just died last week, so he's definitely getting his judgment now.
hmm Yeah, the more money you have, the better lawyer you can get to get you off, and that's just kind of sad. And then it's like what's even worse that is the kids would like tell their parents, and from like our research, and the parents wouldn't believe it. They would be like, "No, that's not true." They kids would come and tell it, their parents wouldn't believe them,
Yeah,
or they
like
would tell it.
depending on the age is like if a child between the ages of 4 and under tell you that somebody's messing around with them, there's a 99% chance that they're telling the truth. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they are
And
because they don't know no different.
yeah, they don't know that shit. And the statistic goes up as the age goes up. But up until you hit about 12 years old, if a child tells you that they're being messed with, you believe that child because only a certain percentage of them they've been put up to it or they've been lied to and coerced into
Right.
telling somebody that this happened to them.
hmm
But it's like I don't care who it is. I don't care what's going on. If a child comes to me and tells me that they're being messed with, I'm taking it serious.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, yeah. She's where. Yeah, they have all type of mental issues. That's true. Like some people never snap out of it.
Yep, Beth Hammond, I'm right there. I'm right there. I have all different kinds of mental health issues because directly related to the abuse I went through as a child, and
Yeah,
um,
it's a lifelong struggle, especially if you were abused for a long time.
yeah, from 5 to 12 almost.
Yeah,
You know,
and especially if it's like someone close to you, like someone that like in your own family.
yeah, my dad's cousin, best friend.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's kind of like me. But I was pretty young, so it's like some I remember, some I really don't.
Yeah, there's a lot of my counselor because I'm in counseling. I've been in counseling for 7 years, 8 years now, and um, my counselor kind of wanted to see if we could bring back some hidden memories or whatever that my brain's blocked out or whatever. And if they were bad enough for my brain to block out in the beginning, I don't need to rekindle them.
Yeah, yeah. That's only good to do for some people, especially for the ones who have been trafficked. That's kind of good in a way because it'll kind of help them, see maybe if like they can find the person who did it.
Yeah,
But it's maybe not so much for somebody like who knows their perpetrator. There's no point in that. But for somebody who's trying to get a grasp of the reality, who's been trafficked like for a long time, that probably would be a good thing for them, so they can understand that's not the reality.
yeah. Okay, so I like to keep these right around about an hour. We're coming up on 50 minutes. So we'll open it up to any questions anybody has, and then before we go, I like to spring this on my guests, but you get to ask me three. Since I'm usually one asking all the questions, you can ask three questions to me, and I'll answer them 100% honestly. Um, so kind of gives you the interviewer, or the interviewee, the
I
opportunity
wasn't.
to.
I really wasn't prepared for that. I don't really have too many questions to ask right now. Mine would just be more like fun questions. It's like Like, what do you watch on TV and things like that.
Whatever you want to ask. Whatever you want to ask.
Mine, mine would be like, I don't know. It's just like for me, it's like my thing is I'm a nerd, really. Honestly, like one of my favorite TV shows is like The Deadliest Catch, and then like I love that show. And people are like, "You do?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's like 20 years." I was like, "I can't believe the show's been 20 year on for 20 years, and people are just watching crap." I was like, "It is interesting to me." And
Yeah.
then like one of my other favorite shows is like The Alaskan Bush People. I'm like catching up on that too.
See, I don't watch TV.
Yeah,
So we watch YouTube, and that's about it.
yeah. I try to watch YouTube, but sometimes, man, it's like I need a break from YouTube.
Yeah, I
Like
get you. I get you.
I have like homework and stuff to do a lot, so
Yeah. What's up, Martine?
he's coming on. We're ending. Oh yeah, well yeah, I didn't really get to talk about my little one's dad, like Alex. So then it's we talked about sexual, but like mental abuse, that's hard too. Like the domestic mental abuse is the hardest one to like snap out of, too. Because
Yeah,
like for me,
I
if
can
for me,
imagine.
like people could tell like my hair started thinning. It was just awful, and I'm just like, man, and then you don't realize it until you like read about what it is, and it's just like, gosh, he had so many
So
like mental issues, and he won't take medicine because he doesn't think he has any. But when I took this class, I realized he is like a walking PhD student's clinical's like dream for if you needed to study. He is like a dream come true.
yeah. So how long did the mental abuse with your ex go on for?
Let's see, not long. Let's see. He kind of pretty much left when my son was like 13 months old. So when we were together, like there was about 2 years ish, so to speak. Because when my little one turned about 13 months old, that's when he was kind of like in and out. But and then officially he was like out when he was about 2. That's when I met my current husband. Now he pretty much is my husband. But it was rough. It's like I didn't know like how he would be, how his attitude would be, if he would like snap and come to it. And then she just had so much. He's a paranoid schizophrenic, I believe, and bipolar, narcissistic.
Yeah,
So it was just kind of hard. And then like he put his hands on me twice, and I was like, that was it. What right when I was getting ready to go for my date with my husband. Now he was like in the bathroom. I was getting ready, he like choked me, and I'm just like, I'm the only the reason why I'm here is because he snapped out of it and remembered what the hell was going on.
wow.
So I'm like, yeah. After that, I'm like, I told him to get out, and he didn't come back. And
So
we
so so what out of from the childhood abuse to the mental abuse from your ex, what's been your biggest struggle to keep going? You know what I mean?
um for me, really, it was just my little one because, like I said, in between that, I didn't have any like problem. So for my main abuse part was for my little one's dad. So there was just my little one, kept me going, and I'm just like I realized I was like I can't do this no more. So one day I just set his crap outside my door and then told him to, it's pretty much
Yeah,
what it is. He posted on Facebook. He supposedly had a girlfriend, and I'm like, oh really? And this is funny because this was what I think Valentine's Day. Yeah, Valentine's Day, and I set his stuff outside the door, and that was it. That was it. And my Iowa, sorry, my son, yeah, he was just about 13 months old.
So Beth Hammond told me to say, tell GTK, tell this lady I am back from the dead.
Yeah, it's sad. And then the funny thing is he was like in and out, and so he went to his like quote unquote girlfriend, and then they broke up. Then he went to somebody else, and then he brought his daughter down here from Houston in March to like in summer for summer break, and they broke up. So he had to come back here with his daughter because I wasn't gonna let him be homeless with his daughter here visiting from Houston.
Right.
And so she was here, and then that's when he choked me in that September after I had like kicked him out, but he was, he had kind of, came back a little bit, and that's when he did it in September because she was still here and he's getting ready to take her back. And that's when that incident happened. And then after that, I'm like, get out, and he never came back. So
Well,
that was
Beth, maybe someday you'd like to come up and tell your story.
yeah.
I'd like to hear it myself.
That's pretty much my story. It was just hard for the mental, and then it's like, and then to hear people who go through the same thing I did, like being with somebody who was like a bipolar, like narcissistic, and they won't get help. And then the thing is, they don't want to admit that they are because they don't think anything's wrong with them. And that's
Yeah.
the hard thing to do. And then I have to make sure I have to take my kid to go get checked, to make sure he doesn't have any of his dad's traits, and when I was telling the psychologist for his first evaluation, she said he would have to come and get evaluated every couple years to make sure he doesn't have any of those traits.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's such a harsh subject. It really is, but
Hmm.
I mean, it's got to be talked about, or it's only going to continually get
Yeah,
worse.
like the earlier you detect it, and the better. The earlier you admit your kid has it, and they can get sick and get help, the better for counseling to learn how to treat it. Or you're gonna end up like my little one's dad, like
Yeah.
not in touch with reality on some things.
So where do you see yourself in 5 years from now?
Oh, let's see, 5 years. Well, hopefully I'll have a house. I'll finish school, and then I was thinking about maybe going back to school to become a psychologist and get my psychology degree potentially. And that's
Nice.
pretty much about it. Just a helping victim, just being a victim's advocate, and probably volunteering somewhere when I have time. And then just raising my kids. And my in 5 years, my 10-year he'll be 15. So I gotta have that lovely thing going on. Just raising
Yep.
my
My
kids.
my eldest my oldest child just turned 18, and I'm having some issues with that.
Yeah,
Him being an adult and wanting to do what he wants to do, but me trying to be the protective parent. But yeah,
yeah.
our
Mine is,
daughter's 17.
yeah. Mine is my kid is 10, but he doesn't act like he's 10. He acts like he's like already in college. It's like he got suspended from Roblox because he hacked to someone's account getting their password, and I'm just like, but man, you can't do that. He's like, why not? And I was like, that's not right, handsome. He acts like everybody and their mama can do that. I'm like, no, they can't. Not every 10-year-old can get people's. I'm just like, oh my lord. So yeah,
Yeah.
he's a handful.
Well, let me personally thank you for becoming the newest G2K member of this community. We really do have a really tight community around here. We definitely keep an eye out for each other, and I welcome you with open arms. I appreciate you so much coming up and tell your story. Um, if you ever need to chat, you got my email address. If you ever want to, you're always welcome to come up on panel. Not we don't do serious stuff all the time, but for the most
Yeah,
part,
I know.
it's serious.
I've I've been looked when you guys were joking around. I was like, it's kind of hard for me to come up on panel during the nighttime because, like I said, I've got 3 kids and they're not exactly quiet.
Well, there's ways around that. But I
I'd
don't
have to
really
go.
get I don't really
I'd,
get
I'd
too harsh on people for having
yeah.
background noise and stuff. But
I'd have to go. I'd have to go in the bathroom to get some quietness to talk on panel at night.
yeah,
Especially my little one, he likes to snuggle. He'd be like, "Mommy, what are you doing?" And he'd want to talk and say hi and tell his little story.
yeah. So, like I said, I really do appreciate you coming up and telling your story. I really do. I'm grateful you found us over here. Um, if at any point in time you ever need to talk, there's so many people here in the chat in this community that will always be willing to talk to somebody when they need somebody to talk to. Like I've ended live streams in right in the middle of a live stream with 30 people, 40 people watching, just to talk to somebody because they needed to talk. You know what I mean? So we always do our best to be here for each other, and
Yes.
just welcome
Yeah.
to the community. I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate you.
People can talk to me too. They can email me. This is more likely the email is going to be like my public email. I'll probably go on like my advocacy cards and everything. So this is more like my public email, so to speak.
What's up, way up, dude?
What's up?
All right, sweetheart. Well, I appreciate, like I said, I appreciate you coming up and telling your story. It's not ever really the most simplest thing to do, but
No,
equally important, I
it's
feel.
not yet. It is.
So I know that you were excited and nervous at the same time, and like, people don't get it. Anytime, even when I'm doing a fun stream, I get nervous.
Right.
So you'll fit right in around here.
Yeah, because I'm a little camera shy person, and I always get flustered and things like that. So
Yeah, and as you can tell, like I said, you don't got to show your face. You can show your face if you want to. It's not a big deal to me, So, but thank you
you're
very much for being
welcome.
here. I
And
appreciate
anytime
it.
you want to come back up, just hit me up too, and I can come back up and talk
All
some
right.
more. Want to learn some more info and things like that.
Oh yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. I will definitely take advantage of that
All righty.
for sure. All right,
All right.
everybody. Martine, or actually, before you go, voice for victims, can you leave a comment in the chat, and then Martine, can you put a link out there for us, please, and I'll send everybody your way to get more subscribers and shit.
Let's see. How do you do that? Oh Lord.
You just go to post a comment,
Uh-huh.
and then just type in hi or whatever.
Okay, join the chat. Oh, it's asking me to
Yep, it will.
next.
We your first time
Oh, there
doing
we
it.
go.
Yep.
Okay. Let's see. Continue. Yeah, my stuff is my stuff is pretty boring. See the two services. Okay, continue. See, I'm new to all this.
Some might consider it boring, but I consider it important. So
Now it's saying try again. An error occurred. What? Why does it say an error occurred?
I
Lord,
don't know.
what does that mean?
I'm not
See, it's
sure.
funny because I can post when I'm not in the StreamYard, but
Okay, so why don't you go ahead and hop down from here, and then go ahead and leave a comment in the chat, and then I'll have your link. I'll have one of my moderators grab your link, and we'll post it in the chat, and
okay.
we'll share you
So I
out
hit
there.
so I hit leave the studio then.
Yep, go ahead and hit Lee Studio, and then you'll be clear.
All
You'll have to
right.
go back. You'll have to go back onto YouTube on a separate page and pull it up and all that shit. But yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll see you guys later then, and I'll
All right.
type it in the chat. All
Okay.
right.
Thank you
Bye.
very much for telling your story. God bless.
You're welcome. You too.
Thanks. Maria G says, love you, Mr. and Miss G2K.
Oh, love you, Maria G.
Martine says, howdy, Miss Boss.
Hi, Martine.
Can I get my moderators to just start dropping everybody's link that's in chat today? I would appreciate it too before we sign off. Does anybody got anything you want to say? I can drop the link and you guys can come up and we can chat about whatever for a minute if you'd like. I got to be getting to work within like the next half an hour. All right. So there's Voice for Victims, a Voice for Victims comment. Can I get a moderator to click on that? And everybody go sub up to her as well. Let's do what we do around here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do what we do around here. Martine's all over it like white on rice. Thank you, Martine. My friend, my compadre. Well, thank you very much, Beth Hammond. I'm sure she'll appreciate it as well. Well, damn it, Maria, you're supposed to be prepared when you come over here. Have your damn glasses on. If you want. I'm just saying. Give a shout out to everybody here. Thanks everyone for joining me on my first live. Absolutely, voices, and I'm glad that this was a channel you decided to do it on, and I look forward to many more very good conversations with you for sure. Give a shout out to Way Up, dude. Thanks for being here, my friend. I appreciate it. Maria G, stay beautiful, stay you. I love you, sweetheart. Mary Jane Doe, thank you for being here. Beth Hammond, James Ottawa. Who else is here? Beth Hammond. I already said Beth Hammond, but let's just say her name again anyway. Beth Hammond, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Voice for Victims, the lady of the hour. I appreciate you being here as well. Got some purple and black hearts up here. That's showing some love there for Voice for Victims. A Voice for Victims. We appreciate y'all for sure. Yeah, I saw your video before I went private. Oh, damn. Absolutely. Well, one private radio your video while I was watching, and it just went up. That's crazy. Wonder why I did that. I wonder why I did that. All right, let me see. I guess maybe I could put that in there real quick, huh? Maybe I should have done that. Bye, sweetheart. Thanks for stopping by and doing the interview. I really appreciate it. I really do. No, I'll stick around for a little bit longer. You know, give everybody a chance to come up and say hi if they want. I was gonna say this girl can never miss an opportunity to come up and say hi. What's up, Maria? How are you, sweetheart?
Well, my daughter's fallen asleep, right? And I've got the dog, so I'm running away from her. Because she's going mad, aren't you? So I thought, yeah, I quickly can come up. It's gone up to 211 signatures.
I was just gonna say that. I see that we're up to 211 signatures on that petition.
I know.
That's great.
I know. I've still got. Look, I gave myself a little break. I've given myself some time off today.
Yeah.
But
yeah, you deserve a break.
I'm going to be back. Oh, I can bang them out. You know, keep getting them out there. I'll do it really quick. So I just had to sort something out. I did a little video earlier. Did you see it?
I didn't.
Well, it's come to light. Someone now is another friend of mine is being called a paedophile. And
oh, really?
From Gina Diamond. And it's Stiggy. You know Stiggy, don't you?
Yep. It's
her she's calling the paedophile. Can you believe it?
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah. Human trafficker. She's not for the children. Yeah, really, and coming between her and Rose.
Wow.
I know, and I thought it was all over. I thought they all stopped doing that, you know, but obviously
yeah,
not.
They'll never stop. Some people will never stop. Some people have no couth.
Oh well, I just wanted her to know that, you know, I am still here. All right.
Hell yeah.
I'm still here and I ain't going nowhere.
That's right, girl.
Yeah, that's it. And I'm not going to have silly little people do that to my friends, you know. People just, you know, I think so many people just want to turn a blind eye to what people say and do. And it should be called out a hell of a lot more than what it does.
Yep.
You know, because it's like, that's really bad thing to call people here in the UK. You know what? Slander is quite a big thing. And like, you can't go around calling people paedophiles. You just can't. It's nothing. You just can't. You know, that it's just.
I think it should be a crime. Myself.
I think it should be a crime. Well, I tell you what, if she doesn't, if I do hear anymore, then there will be trouble, and there's going to be, because I think you find you can do something about that, because I got it in writing and everything where she called us all it, because he was included in it as well. So, which is astounding. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? The irony of my video I did, because I started off saying I was busy on the petition, and like, and I said what the cause was. I said it's a bit of an irony now, knowing like of what I'm then going to talk about. Being called it yourself, isn't it? Thinking crazy.
Yep. Some people just think they know everything and they don't know jack shit.
I know, but I do worry. You know, it's only got to be said to someone that's like not so strong. You know,
Yeah, I get it.
You know what I mean, don't you?
I do.
You know, sensitive, could
Yep.
anything, and I said on there, lots of men have committed suicide through being accused of this big thing, in which they're not.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and then they're shining the light away from what really matters, the people that are doing it.
Yep.
You know, I feel it's a bit of a you know, they're trying to, sometimes I feel like they're trying to make you pull away from it, you know, stop fighting for it. We're just going to call you it. We're just, whoever supports it is one, you know. It's like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So, but,
It like I've been called it so many times on here. Like the first few times it really got to me. Like I almost took my channel down over it, and like,
oh, I can imagine.
you know what I mean? And
I mean, I found it quite distressing myself. You know,
yeah.
knowing how someone could just talk so freely, loosely, with only what their opinion is what it is, you know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
end up ruining someone's head or doing someone's head in, you know, and it makes me cry.
Yeah.
I get cross. I do. I said I'm back. Oh, so yeah. I'm sorry I missed it all. I missed the beginning and everything of this live, because
Well,
like,
just do me a favor. We'll do a Voice for Victims favor. Rewind it. Go back and watch it. It was a really good interview. She's got some things going.
all right, okay. I will do that. Definitely. Yeah, I missed everything. I said to my daughter, can you listen out for me? You know, just, you know, try and listen out. Next minute, she's snoring on the sofa. What's going on? It should be me on the sofa snoring. Shouldn't it be the parent?
Yeah, it should be.
Power nap, cat nap, whatever you want to call it. So I don't know if she can hear me. She don't even. Oh, she opened her eyes to that.
What's up, Juniverse?
It's like Stella's running up. Come down here. It's like I can't. I would show her, but it's on my face if I do the camera. She's going mad. Can you hear her?
Yeah.
She's like a galloping racehorse. The sound they make. She's like, clunk, clunk, clunk. I can't do it.
That's funny.
She comes down the stairs in about 0.01 seconds. Come here. Right, leave Daniel alone. In there, and I'm gonna. Oops. Right, I've had to shut the gate because, like, she's going to attack my son. So yeah, right. It's a bit loud here because there's a lot of things going on at the moment.
Well, quiet it the fuck down, Maria.
I'm not in the shed, you see.
Well, you go to your shed, Maria.
I would if I could when it's like my time. She's not. She's barely looking at me. That's okay.
So
yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I've definitely been utilizing your therapy technique.
Oh, it's great, isn't it? I've done it.
Oh, dude, the massacres have gotten like
I've done some today.
mass amounts of people at the same time.
Oh, someone's needed it today. Someone's needed it. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
You're not getting away with it. That's what I say. You're going to
Yep.
get slaughtered.
Joke's on you, mother effer. Right before I dropped the axe on him, I'm like, waka!
I said to my daughter, I do it. She looks at me. I said, well, look, you can't get into trouble, you know. It's like, unless you tell someone, no one's going to know what you do.
Yeah.
You know, because we haven't come to the point of reading people's minds yet, I don't think.
It's coming. It'll be here in another month or two.
Don't. Can you imagine that?
I don't want to be able to do that.
Imagine if like, imagine if I messaged you one day. Yeah, I saw that dream you had, that massacre you had. I saw you. I
I'll be
saw
like,
you
oh my
actually
God,
kidnap
Maria,
that
you just violated me.
Mine is still kidnapped, locked up. I said to Charlene in the warehouse.
Oh shit, that reminds me. I still have like 6 people kidnapped and locked up at the warehouse still today. They've been there for like 2 months now already.
That's where they end up.
Damn,
They
I
end
wonder how
up
they're
in a
doing.
warehouse just tied up to a chair. And if they're lucky, they might get some water. If they're lucky, yeah. And
Oh
it's
shit, I'm supposed to leave them water? God damn.
well, if they're
Yep.
lucky.
I'm not a very nice torturer guy, I guess, you know.
Well, I might have to change my boundaries on that one.
Like, I'm surprised you give yours water, for shit's sake.
Mine needs a little tweak then. Yeah, I give water to mine. How rude. You don't deserve water.
Well, most of them don't.
All right, just a little drip.
Ooh, that's even better. Just a little drip, just to
Just a
barely wet their
tiny
mouth
little
for a minute.
drip every what? You can go without water. I mean,
Every like 7 hours.
just on the edge, and then
Yep.
give them another little drip.
Yep, every 7 hours.
Oh,
I'm
that'd
down
be
for that.
so. Oh, right. That's my next one on the go then.
Hell yeah, that's a
That's
good
my
idea.
next punishment sorted. I shall dehydrate. Well, is it? Yeah, I'm going to make you dehydrated. Is that the right one or not?
Yep, that's the right word.
I
That's what I'm start calling you, the dehydrator.
get mixed up. Hydrates when dehydrated with no water, isn't it? That's right. Dehydrated. So I get a bit confused come this time of night. It all sort of like comes.
Yeah, I don't really think it has to do with what time of day or night it is when you get confused, Maria. I'm just throwing it out there as a friend, as a little brother. Stop.
I thought I could blame the time. Oh, I'm just walking around not knowing what I'm doing because like I've got no more energy to run up and down with the ball. I can't do no more. That's why I come up. rescue me from throwing balls all the way. I'm gonna sit on the stairs. Oh right, I'm gonna sit on the stairs. That's it now. I'm calm.
I would agree to 2 of those. I don't think Maria needs a Red Bull.
I haven't had enough.
I said that. My wife's like, oh goodness.
I need it be a different. Oh, I can't. Do you know what? What's the time now? 7:20. I'm gonna be putting the kettle on soon. I'm gonna have a cup. I'm gonna make a cup of tea. And I'm gonna go in the shed and have a smoke.
All right. Well, I'm gonna get out of here myself. I'm gonna get my ass to work. So.
Yeah, that's what we need to get ourselves in gear. I just gave myself too much time off today.
Yeah. Yep. So how many contacts have you made? I know the last time I checked was like 1,500 or something.
Well, I set a goal for myself because I like to put it on Facebook when I've done it. So my next goal is going to be 2,000.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm going over I'm up to about just over 1,600 because I had a bit of a break today, but it doesn't take me long to catch up.
I bet it don't.
Up with myself. I don't know how, but I tell myself I've caught up.
Well, you catch up to yourself because you tell your other self to slow down a little bit.
That's it. Then I need that's it. That makes sense.
You keep. I see you keeping it pretty well balanced out there.
That really does make sense. You should do a poem about it. You should be doing a poem about it.
And then when both versions of you are on the same level at the same time, God help us all.
A poem about the mental therapy. Can you imagine that?
Oh God.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Imagine the heyday you'd have if both of you got together at the same time and did it. Jeez. Imagine if the 3 of us could get together and merge our thoughts. Oh my God.
It'd be a bestseller, I tell you.
It'd probably be against the law.
It would go. We'd be at the Globes, whatever you call it, whatever they're called, Globes, Grammys, whatever you want to call it. We'd be there. So yeah, just wait. Yeah, Stella's looking at me because that's true, Stella. Yes, she's looking at me going, yeah, all right then. Right, I'm going to let you go because I need to sort my head out.
All right, sweetheart.
All right, love you both.
Love you too. Bye.
All right, speak to you soon. All right, bye. Bye.
Bye. We all know Maria's going to go get on her combine harvester. Stop. No, you're driving me nuts.
Dr. Martin.
Talk to Martin. Martin. Going to talk to Martin about the combine harvester. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, Beth, get a hold of me. I'd love to talk to you about have you tell your story as well sometime. You're becoming a pretty well-known name around here in this community, so I appreciate y'all being here. Final shout outs, Maria G, thanks for being a gangster all the time. Martine, thanks for being my big brother that I've always wanted in my life. Beth Hammond, no more shots to the dome, okay, girl? Come on now. She was shot in the head in the line of duty.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Combine harvester. Put some black and purple hearts up in here for the guest of the hour, which was A Voice for Victims. Can you drop her link one more time? And everybody thank her for coming up and telling her story because it's never easy to do so. James Ottawa, I love you, brother. Quit calling me your daddy. Drewiverse, thanks for stopping by. I hope you get the job. I hope that goes well. I think today's your last interview for them. So hope all goes well, Drewiverse. Mary Jane Doe, thanks for being here, sweetheart. I really do appreciate it. A Voice for Victims, absolutely. Thank you for being here. Don't forget, tonight, 8 o'clock, Mountain Standard Time, Chilling and Chatting, number 102. 2 weeks away from 2 years straight, ladies and gentlemen. 2 weeks away from 2 years straight on Thursday night. So, but I'm going to get out of here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to do most of my regular sign out here, but I'm not going to do the last part because I don't think this is the live stream for it. But do me 2 favors. Number 1, try to love one another right now. Oh, it's Martine. Hang on. Martine, what's up, my friend?
Hello, man.
What's up, brother?
I just want to come up and say hello. Are you about to go to work?
Yeah.
Right, mate. Well, I probably timed that a bit wrong then, didn't I?
You're good. You're good. You're good.
Hi, Martine.
Okay, man.
Actually, it's kind of good that you did come up here. So, actually wanted to talk to you about something real quick. So I'm going to end the live stream, and then I'm going to talk to you privately for a minute.
Yeah.
You're in deep shit and trouble, bro.
You got a bone to pick with you.
I got 3 bones. I got 3 bones to pick with you, and I'm gonna leave everybody hanging on.
No,
that
you fucking haven't, mate. You fucking love me, mate.
Hey, just because I love you, don't mean I got a bone to pick with you.
I fail to believe that.
Well, keep failing. Oh, Drewiverse got the job. Everybody, congratulate Drewiverse. Congratulations, Drewiverse. We're fucking proud of you, brother. Rocking and rolling, buddy. I'm glad you got the fucking job. That's amazing. That is amazing. That is amazing. Yes. Tonight, everybody, chilling and chatting, number 102. Come and hang out. Say hi. Where we talk about everything but stuff that's serious. Number 1. Try to love one another right now because you might not get a chance to do so tomorrow. In fact, there are people who are here today that won't get the chance to do so. So we might as well take advantage of it while we can. And number 2, tell your friends about me because they're going to want to know. Get to know. Later, everybody.
Laters.
It is definitely kinky. Later.